Communion within the body temple. Commentary for Veterans Day, 11 November 2013. The following commentary is a reminder to each of us that it is in ourselves that most solutions and pathways toward peace within reside. Something once done is done and can never ever be undone, from messing up a favorite recipe, letting out an unwise word, or encountering major trials that life hands almost all of us from time to time. Many years ago, I visited a counselor over job frustrations. I was depressed and, yes, angry, and getting more and more frustrated with lack of justice, with what I perceived as general apathy over the idea of others being fair with me. The counselor ended up asking me how far in my career did I expect to get and where at the time did I feel I was. I told him, and then he said, "Well, you are there. You are working toward your ultimate goal, and what more do you expect?" I was not overly pleased with this guy's approach, quote unquote, to my problem. I thought he was really going to point the way to a solution, and he didn't. But he did. He made me realize, and the realization hurt me deeply in a sense, because I knew then that no one, absolutely no one else, would be able to do anything to get me where I expected to be and where I was personally convinced that I justly deserved to be. Years later, after retirement, when I went in for a normal physical, the doctor asked me if I was having chest pains and shortness of breath after the results of an EKG appeared in his file. "Of course not," I replied, forgetting that, yes, indeed, I had been having those things, but wasn't paying attention to them at the time. Follow-up with specialists revealed 3 previous heart attacks. 3. And I had not even known about any of them. Perhaps I had in my own way, but had not thought that those pains and feelings at that time were that serious. That serious ended up being an implant 7 years ago. It did not change my lifestyle a lot, but in some way woke me up. My earlier conversation with that counselor was also a wake-up call, one that I still take from time to time. Life's wake-up calls are not always related to personal physical issues or being incarcerated because you felt you had to rob a bank to support your family. Sometimes they affect someone near and dear, causing great upheaval to those persons and often to yourself. Life is impermanent, but hope, wisdom, understanding, and with it appreciation and many other human values are eternal. I am not always a religious man, and in fact far from it, but when considering the alternative to resolving myself to face the issue at hand and to handle it as I would have my children handle it and have my friends and family members handle it, I resort to a special communion with that strength within self that God has instilled in each of us. Deep within our soul and not that far down in our consciousness is an appreciation of the tools that we have been given and have developed on our own to deal with life. Use those tools. They are not always easy to learn how to use, and sometimes they are heavy and rough. But the work that we can eventually sit on the table one day will be our own work, shared with God, but still our own. God bless you. Hopefully these few words will inscribe some measure of reflection in the meaning of belief and faith and the power of the two to help heal within.